This video is how I share gold leaf with my friends. This is not how I use it myself. I just put it in like a recipe like cookies or fudge or something. Or I'll just sprinkle it on food. But I prefer to put it in a cookie, that way I don't have to deal with it every single time, because it takes a little bit of dexterity to deal with this stuff. This stuff is feather light and can easily be blown by any kind of breeze, even the slightest breeze from the ceiling fan. So what I do is, when I want to share it with other people, I get these empty veggie caps from the health food store. You know, you can open them up and put various herbs inside of them. So I open it up and I shove, oops, I can hold this, I shove gold leaf powder into it. And what I do is I take 2 toothpicks side by side, and I use them like a spatula to scoop out a little bit of gold. And if it's too much, I shake it gently on the edge to shake off some of the gold. And I put this bottle on top of a saucer, and I lick whatever gold leaf falls on the saucer, because it will. Just moving this around, some of the gold leaf will come off of the little heap on the end here because it's so feather light. And then I put this back here after I shake off the excess, and I put it here. Anyway, I use these two. Once I scooped up the right amount with my right hand, with my left hand, I'll hold the long end, where is it? The long end of this capsule in my hand and shove it in there, and then and when I shove it in enough, then I use the short end and I seal it up. And I can put a lot of gold in here. That's, where is it? That's a lot of gold. So I'm kind of overdoing it, but what the hey. My friends are worth it. Let's see, what else? Oh, and then one other thing. I knew there was some need to support, a supporting supplement to go along with the gold. And I've come to the determination that potassium iodide is the best supporting supplement to suit this purpose. There's 60 tablets in this bottle. The bottle costs less than $9 on Amazon. There are 30 milligrams per tablet of potassium iodide. And I might give them a few of these tablets along with their gold capsule to take the two together. Because we should all be taking iodine anyway to upgrade our metabolic rate, to make us smarter, raise our IQ, and basically improve the health of the physiology. Now the gold is very interesting. I've done other videos already, but it basically decreases glutamine production in the brain, which in turn reduces the symptoms of ALS and cancer. Without necessarily curing us of ALS or cancer. I mean, I don't know if it actually cures. You know, cure means it never comes back. But if it merely reduces the intensity of these symptoms, then what might be happening, the worst case scenario, is that it's merely alleviating the largesse. It's shrinking the illness down to the size of a speck, a granule, something we won't notice that it's a problem. But it could come back, I don't know. This is all short-term experimentation. I don't know too much yet about this. Now, for $34, you can get 100 grams, am I saying this right? No. A tenth of a gram. For $34, a tenth of a gram, you can buy edible gold leaf powder on eBay. For $130, you can buy a whole gram. So this stuff is very lightweight. You're not consuming a whole lot, because when the gold goes into the stomach and the stomach acid works on it, very few ions of trichloride of gold is produced. Trichloride or trigold chloride, Trigold chloride. It's a very powerful salt of gold, so much so it can be actually toxic. but toxic only in large quantity. And the quantity dissolved, the quantity of gold dissolved into gold chloride in the stomach is so small, it's not toxic at all. And this is what frightened me 6 years ago when I first found out about people eating gold covered confections such as strawberries and chocolate bonbons. Obviously they were doing it and it wasn't affecting or impacting them in any severe fashion, but still I was paranoid. So for 6 years I didn't use this stuff, and I just carried this around with me every time I moved from one apartment to another, until finally I read this article about linking glutamine production and cancer, and I realized, aha, my mother died of ALS, and her doctor said, well, the only thing we know about ALS is that the brain produces too much glutamine, and that's all they know. Yeah, they claim it's genetic, but I think it's karma. I think it's psychosomatic. The person produces their own sickness. They have a mental breakdown, and the rest follows. Be that as it may, now we have a link between cancer and ALS, which are two devastating illnesses in their own right, but the two of them together under the same category of causation, namely glutamine overproduction in the brain, could be a very fascinating hypothesis to pursue further investigation. I can't relocate the scientific article that talked about glutamine and cancer, but I already know about glutamine and ALS from my mother's doctor, so I don't question that. He was a standard medical doctor working at UCLA Medical Center at the time that my mother was suffering this illness 20 years ago. 20 to 25 years. She died within 5 years of being diagnosed because she was diagnosed late in life. If you're diagnosed early in life, like one chap from Europe who was diagnosed in his 20s, it'll take a whole lifetime for it to kill you. In other words, it doesn't kill you quickly. ALS kills you. It doesn't kill you. It just debilitates you at a faster rate when you're older, at a slower rate when you're younger. So ALS is not a killer disease. It's simply a debilitating disease like tuberculosis. And we know tuberculosis can be prevented just by sound nutrition and hygiene. Good grief. ALS may be nothing worse, or cancer. It may simply be an insufficiency of gold in the diet. Can you beat that? What a concept.